Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we take a whole stack of information, sift through it, and really try to get right to the core of what you need to know.
Exactly.
Today, we're diving into the Google ecosystem. Some pretty interesting stuff happening, specifically a big design change for an app we all use, and also a look at this kind of mysterious new tool.
Yeah, something that could really change how we use our Android devices together.
Right. So let's unpack these.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how these small updates, sometimes hidden away in the code, they often signal these much bigger shifts in tech.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to connect the dots for you today between, design choices and this potential shift in how all our devices might talk to each other. Our mission then is pretty clear. Unpack these two Google developments, help you understand not just what's happening, but crucially, why it matters for, your daily tech life.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about something pretty fundamental. The Phone by Google app. Lots of us use it every single day. It's getting a pretty complete Material 3 expressive redesign.
Ah, yes, the Material 3 expressive refresh.
So for those of us maybe not tracking every single design iteration from Google, what is Material 3 expressive?
Yeah.
And, what are the big changes we'll actually see in the Phone app?
Right. Well, Material 3 expressive, it's basically Google doubling down on making things feel more dynamic, more personalized, even playful. It's not just aesthetics.
Okay.
It's about creating an experience that feels more intuitive, maybe adapts a bit more.
Yeah.
Things, subtle animations, more organic shapes guiding your eye. It builds on Material U, the color theming stuff, but pushes it.
So less rigid, more fluid.
Exactly. It's especially important as you get foldables, tablets, all sorts of screen sizes.
Yeah.
You need a UI that can stretch and adapt,
Makes sense. So, okay, in the Phone app itself, what are some of the specific visual things that give it this expressive feel?
Well, you've still got the 4 tabs at the bottom. That's familiar. But the bar itself now has this darker background. Little thing, but it feels, I don't know, a bit cleaner. And then in your Recents tab, the calls, they're now in these distinct rectangular cards, but with nicely rounded corners.
Okay, so getting away from sharp edges.
Yeah, and that container style, that rounded rectangle, you'll see it pop up elsewhere too, like in favorites.
Yeah.
Even on the dialer screen. It kind of ties it all together visually.
Right, creating that consistency. What else? The dialer itself?
The number pad, the actual numbers, they look the same. But the sheet behind the numbers, that also gets the rounded corners.
Okay.
Remember those little filter chips?
Yeah.
all missed spam?
Yeah, the outlined ones.
Right. They're not outlines anymore. They feel more like solid little buttons, more integrated. And the main settings list gets the same treatment too. It feels quite comprehensive.
And the call screen itself. When you're actually talking to someone.
Ah, yeah, that's a noticeable change. Those traditional round buttons, like for mute or speaker, they're gone.
Replaced with.
Pills.
Yeah.
Those elongated, rounded shapes. And when you tap one, it morphs into more of a rounded rectangle. The spacing's updated too. And the big red end call button.
Yeah.
That's now a wider pill. Definitely more prominent, maybe harder to miss.
Okay, so it sounds like a pretty thorough visual overhaul, making it feel modern, consistent with other Google apps, maybe?
Definitely aiming for that broader Google design vision.
Yeah.
But it's not just visual. Like you hinted earlier, there are some functional tweaks too.
Right. You mentioned answering calls.
Yeah, there's actually a new menu now. Incoming call gesture, I think it's called. And you can choose how you answer.
Oh, like what?
You can pick either the classic horizontal swipe or now just a single tap. Gives you a choice, which is nice.
Yeah, okay. Bit more flexibility there.
And the incoming call screen itself looks different. It uses this sort of scallop shape, like a subtle wave or edge pattern that rotates while it's ringing.
Interesting visual touch.
Yeah, and those little prompts like urgent or message if you can't pick up, those are now housed in those pill containers too.
Got it. So, wrapping up the Phone app changes. This is rolling out in beta now, server-side push.
That's the word. Beta version 180 of the Phone app.
Yeah.
And yeah, server-side. So it might take a while to reach everyone. You might not have it yet.
Okay, good to know. So it shows they're still refining even these really core everyday apps.
Absolutely. Constantly iterating.
All right, let's shift gears now from something rolling out visibly to something, much more hidden, deep in the Android cord.
The mysterious Appcast.
Exactly. This sounds intriguing, but it's still very much under wraps, right? What exactly do we think this is, and how are people even finding out about it?
Right. So this comes from the world of APK teardowns, which, for you listening, basically means some clever folks dig into the code of app updates before they're officially released.
Like digital archaeology?
Kinda, yeah. They look for hints, bits of text, references to features Google hasn't announced yet. In this case, it was in a Google Play Services beta, version 25.24.31, I think.
Okay. And what did they find? What are the breadcrumbs?
They found some pretty specific lines of code, things like starting Appcast for package percent. That percent is just a placeholder for an app name.
Okay.
And fetching app list from remote device. Also, launching percents on remote device percents. It clearly points towards interacting with apps on a different device linked to your account.
Remote device, so like my phone talking to my tablet or maybe even my TV.
That's the speculation, yeah. The code also mentions elements for like choosing a device from a list, showing a progress bar, all the plumbing you'd need to, say, pull up a list of apps installed on one device from another device.
So the big idea could be remotely streaming an app, using an app that's on my phone, but maybe displaying and controlling it on my tablet.
That seems like one strong possibility. The source article even speculates about casting apps to bigger screens, like showing an Android app from your phone on your Google TV.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's still, as they put it, all vibes at the moment.
Yeah.
There's no user interface, no visual surfaced yet. We can't see it working. So it's educated guesswork based on code snippets.
Gotcha. It's potential, not product. But okay, let's run with that potential.
Yeah.
If it is app streaming, my first thought is, well, why? Isn't it just easier to install the app on both devices?
Yeah, the immediate counter-argument, absolutely. And the source acknowledges that, for many cases, just installing the app is simpler.
Right.
But think about scenarios where maybe you need specific data that only lives on one device, maybe an app state or files stored within that app's specific instance on your phone.
Ah, okay. So less about the app itself, more about the stuff inside it on a particular device.
Could be. Or maybe it's foundational. Like, this could be step one towards a much more seamless multi-device future. Think like Apple's continuity features, but maybe broader. A future where your apps just kind of flow between screens without you worrying about where they're installed.
Making the device itself less important than your account and your data.
Exactly. Your digital life becomes more fluid, less siloed into individual bits of hardware. That seems to be the bigger dream here. It's about ambient computing, really.
Interesting. It reframes it from just streaming an app to accessing your digital stuff anywhere.
Precisely. Though, again, we need to stress, it's early days. Features found in teardowns don't always launch, or they might change completely.
Fair enough. Any other related clues found nearby in the code? Anything that might bolster this multi-device idea?
Well, interestingly, there was also some code spotted related to new notification sync support. Found at Play Services around the same time, near the Appcast stuff.
Notification sync. Could that be related? Like getting notifications from the streamed app?
It's possible. But honestly, it's unclear if they're directly connected or if it's just a coincidence they appeared in the same update batch. It's another puzzle piece, but we don't know how or even if it fits yet.
Okay, so we've got these two threads. The phone app getting a very visible Material 3 expressive makeover, making it more modern, maybe flexible. And then this much more speculative under-the-hood Appcast thing hinting at apps breaking free from single devices. How do you see these fitting together? What's the bigger Google strategy maybe playing out here?
Well, if you zoom out, I think both things point towards Google's ongoing push for a more integrated and consistent experience across everything they do. The Material 3 redesign makes an everyday tool look and feel part of that unified modern Google world. More intuitive, hopefully.
Right, the polish.
And Appcast, even just as a concept right now, it hints at blurring those lines between devices.
Yeah.
Making your digital life flow more easily no matter what screen you're looking at. It's about making Android smarter, more connected, making your stuff more accessible.
So consistency on one hand and breaking down barriers on the other, both serving a smoother user experience.
That seems to be the common thread, yeah. Making interactions smoother, making the technology adapt more to you and where you are, what you're doing.
Thinking about these updates, what really stands out to you personally? How do you imagine these changes, both the definite and the potential, affecting how you use Google stuff day to day?
For me, the phone app changes are welcome refinements. Anything that makes core tasks feel a bit slicker is good. Appcast, though, that's the one that gets the gears turning.
How so?
The potential for true device-agnostic apps is huge. Imagine not having to consciously manage installs across devices, or accessing a complex app state from your phone instantly on a bigger screen. It could really change workflows.
That's a powerful idea. So that really was a quite an insightful deep dive today. We went from subtle design tweaks in the phone app, those rounded corners, the pills, the new gestures.
Making things feel more fluid.
Right. All the way to the really tantalizing possibility of Appcast, hinting at this future where your apps aren't tied down to one piece of hardware. It definitely feels like Android is constantly evolving towards being more connected, more seamless.
Indeed. And it highlights how tech develops, right? You have the visible stuff rolling out now, and then the hidden experiments bubbling away, potentially shaping the next big thing. Google's always iterating, always exploring.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, here's something for you to think about. If, and it's still an if, but if Appcast does become a reality and you can stream pretty much any app from your phone to any screen, how does that change how you view owning multiple devices? Does it make you need fewer dedicated apps on tablets or TVs? Does it unlock new ways to be productive or maybe entertain yourself by freeing your apps from their hardware prisons?
Lots to consider there.
Definitely something to mull over. Until our next deep dive.